Well, a whole lot of interesting news coming out today, and I'm sure it'll continue on. First up, we do have a regional power seek off ramp from Iran warned other Middle East developments. And we have Russia says UK playing with fire amid reports from the CIA chief has warned the Kremlin not to attack NATO. Then we have pro-Russian hackers behind the cyber attacks on Norway's public digital services. And then we have the Greek-operated Patriot air defense battery engages drone swarm near Saudi Arabian's oil facilities, and the former Chinese military doctor speaks on the troops that the Chinese may use Taiwanese troops' organs in an event of war. So we'll go ahead and dive into these articles and see exactly what they say and what that means. And then there's still tons more news coming out, but this is what we'll get to for the moment. Anyways, welcome to J3 World Unfiltered. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel, share it out. If you enjoy the news that's coming out so far, that I do at least, there's so much to get to and there's so many people that cover so many different topics. It's great to see. Yes, anyways, let's go ahead and get here into the first one. We'll get to the doctor here. All right. Former Chinese from military doctor says CCP may use Taiwanese troops' organs in event of war. Dr. Zhang Ji warned people of the plan at screening of the award-winning documentary State Organs in Taiwan. A former Chinese military doctor who witnessed the Chinese Communist regime's forced harvesting of organs from a living person years ago, said Beijing had long made plans to take Taiwanese soldiers' blood, skin, and organs in an event of a Taiwan invasion. Dr. Zhang Ji, a former Chinese military doctor currently living in exile in Canada, traveled to Taiwan for several screenings of the award-winning documentary State Organs from June 4th to the 15th, which features Zhang's eyewitness accounts as a resident doctor in a Chinese military hospital. So this guy has seen it firsthand, personally, right here, right up close and personal, and he sounds like he's giving a warning to what would happen, or what could happen, what they want to do, what they're planning. So, while at the General Hospital of Shenyang Military Region in the 1990s, the Chinese military, known as the People's Liberation Army, outlined a combat plan every year, he said at one screening event. He says, once a war breaks out in the Taiwan Strait, the greatest pressure for them will be on logistics support. Millions of troops may be mobilized to the front line of the Taiwan Strait, including possibly 2 million to 3 million logistics personnel. He said that from the Chinese regime's view, the most difficult part of the logistics to supply the front is the storage, refrigeration, and transportation of blood, as many soldiers will be bleeding or burned in combat, and blood supply will become the biggest pressure. And that usually is the biggest issue, is combat war, whatever. Something happens to one of the soldiers and they're bleeding out and they don't have any blood to resupply. That is one of the biggest ones, which is why the military, on your dog tags, you do have your blood, your blood type. There you go. Couldn't figure it out. All right. The Chinese military solution was to put surrendered or captured Taiwanese soldiers in detention, draw their blood, and use it for wounded Chinese soldiers, according to Zhang. He said they proposed to take skin from the Taiwanese soldiers and transplant it onto the Chinese soldiers who have burns. So, if Chinese Communist Party CCP attacks Taiwan and the Taiwanese military surrenders, the first thing they might face is having their blood taken, because large blood supply is needed to sustain a war. He said that the Chinese military has developed modular blood processing equipment for blood testing and processing. Using container trucks and airplanes, the blood could be quickly transported to the front lines to immediately set up a field hospital. There are no technical barriers, Zhang told the Epoch Times, and with the advancement in technology and the growth of the organ harvesting industry, China taking organs from the Taiwanese soldiers is no longer a question of possibility. it says, or he says, so far, nothing. They would use the Taiwanese soldiers as blood supply, skin grafting, I'm guessing, and if something more would happen as far as one of their people needs a kidney or liver or whatever, they would take them from one of these captured soldiers. What it sounds like it's only a matter of numbers. It's hard for someone in normal country to grasp such a level of cruelty, he said, pointing out that the CCP has no human moral baseline. That the Taiwanese soldiers who surrender or are alive, he said, are considered by the Chinese regime as the best organ and blood bank. So, and this can go on for a while. I'll go ahead and link this in the description so you can go ahead and check it out more for yourselves. But what do you guys think about that? Is that inhuman? Yes, of course. But are they taking them out to use their organs and their blood and all that stuff? It doesn't sound like it as of yet. Could that change? Of course, everything is always subject to change based on the times that are happening, what's going on, what's needed. You never know. I don't know if the war crime. I don't know if this is a war crime. I don't know if it's in the laws, but we'll have to definitely dive into that, and I'm sure someone has. All right, so here, Greek-operated from the Jerusalem Post. Sorry, Greek-operated Patriot air defense battery engages drone swarm near Saudi Arabian oil facilities. So Greece has deployed a U.S.-made Patriot air defense system, defense battery operated by Greek personnel in Saudi Arabia since 2021, under an agreement to help protect the kingdom's energy facilities. So this was on August 27th, updated. An air defense system operated by Greek military personnel in Saudi Arabia intercepted a swarm of drones on Thursday in the wider Yanbu region, home to major oil refining facilities, Greek security sources told Reuters. And today is the 27th. However, over there across seas, they are 27th a lot sooner than we are. So probably while we were sleeping, that's when it was taking place. It was the third time a Greek-operated system has been used in combat since the U.S.-Israeli war on Iran began, underscoring the widened military role of European allies in defending Gulf energy infrastructure. The battery engaged the drones in coordination with Saudi air defense systems, one of the sources said, adding that the Greek Patriot system launched 3 missiles without detailing the number of drones down or their origin. So here's what they look like. I'm guessing I read Israeli soldiers walking near Israel. So they're definitely being attacked by a bunch of different places. We could probably guess it's probably Iran. U.S. Patriot air defense is operated by Greek and Saudi Arabia, Cyprus. A second source confirmed the information. Greece has deployed a U.S.-made Patriot air defense battery operated by Greek personnel in Saudi Arabia. So this is the same thing. It's just kind of repeating. On Sunday, a Greek newspaper, Katharini, reported that Greece moved a Patriot air defense battery to Crete following threats by senior Iranian officials against U.S. bases in Europe. Greece Defense Ministry and armed forces remain on heightened alert as officials assess the potential threat to critical infrastructure on military facilities as tensions rise with Iran. In addition to defenses in Saudi Arabia, Athens is in contact with the U.S. and Israel over potential threats to military bases in Greece and Cyprus. So, yeah, they're... my guess is that they decided to side with the U.S. and the whole what side you picking thing. In case you guys don't remember, the Iran and America have come out and said pick sides. If you pick Iran, U.S. says you'll be hit with secondary sanctions or something like that, and Iran says if you pick the U.S., you'll be hit with military. He'll be hit militarily. And so It looks like they may have done that. Of course, we have a lot of assets across the whole country, so we'll see how much further that comes out. We'll see when more information comes out about that. All right, next up on tomorrow's affairs here. Pro-Russian hackers behind cyber attacks on Norway's public digital services. So it looks like China and Russia are teaming up, it seems, to be hacking across the globe. We got China hacking out the US. Looks like Russia's trying to hack out Norway and the European area. All right. A pro-Russian hacker group claimed responsibility for a cyber attack that has affected multiple Norwegian government digital services over the past 3 days. The cyber attack has been ongoing since Monday, and a spokesperson for the Norway Digitalization Agency, the state body in charge of making Norway's public services more digital and user-friendly, told the Associated Press. It's the biggest attack against digital solutions that we have ever experienced. The denial of service attacks meant that the hackers pushed massive traffic towards the agency in order to block services, including one that enables citizens to use one login across multiple public services. However, the digital spokesman said that the agency managed to keep the services running practically all the time. In a Telegram post on Wednesday, widely reported by Norwegian media, the pro-Russian hacker group server killers claimed responsibility for the attack and said it had declared cyber war on Norway after the country renewed its security cooperation with Ukraine. So everyone's picking sides. They picked the side of Ukraine over Russia. Now they're getting attacked as well. Cyber attacks. On Sunday, Norwegian Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Støre announced during a visit to Kyiv that Norway would provide 85 billion Norwegian crowns, $9.2 billion to Ukraine from next year's state budget for the third year in a row. The two countries also committed to further cooperation when it comes to drone technology and other forms of modern warfare. Okay, Norwegian officials did not comment on the hackers claimed by time. So they back Ukraine. Okay, so they backed Ukraine, so Russia got pissed off and said, okay, we're coming after you then. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that they're biting off more than they can chew? You got Russia going after Ukraine, going after the US. Now they're going after Norway. You got China with the Taiwanese. Oh, also Russia threatening Japan with a nuke as well. Then you got China. And I don't know if they're necessarily backing Iran, but it seems like it. Just not very openly yet. They got them attacking cyber stuff on America. Their plan against the Taiwanese, against Taiwan, whatever you want to call it. What are your thoughts? Or do you think that they are biting off more than they can chew, or do you think that they're right spot on? Let me know what you guys think on that, because it's getting wild. So, all right. Russia says UK is playing with fire amid reports CIA chief has warned the Kremlin not to attack NATO. Okay, so Moscow threatens retaliation after Andy Burnham says UK will help Ukraine. So this is going more into that. Russia has said it could retaliate against the UK for its support of Kyiv by striking military targets inside and outside Ukraine, amid reports that the director of CIA warned the Kremlin against attacking NATO during a secret visit this week. So that's what that CIA visit was. The director told him not to attack NATO. So Andy Burnham, Britain's Prime Minister, said on Monday the UK would allow Kyiv access to classified technology to start its own production of Storm Shadow long-range cruise missiles. France has also agreed to supply missile technology. Russia's foreign ministry spokesperson said on Thursday Britain and France were playing with fire. Responding to the latest Russian threats, a Ministry of Defense official reiterated UK's support for Ukraine. Britain stands shoulder to shoulder with Ukraine, and we are committed to providing the equipment Ukraine needs to defend itself against Putin's illegal invasion Russia should be in no doubt about to resolve its government to stand against Russian aggression in Ukraine and against the UK and our allies, the official said. So that goes into that he was visited by John Ratcliffe, the CIA director. And we now know that he told him not to strike NATO and not to attack NATO. So now you have Britain also backing up Ukraine, and it seems like Putin and Russia are not very thrilled by this, not exactly happy about any of that. And that's why the cyber attacks on Europe, I'm guessing they're just going to go out and just cyber attack everybody they can, probably get as much information, shut things down, whatever they can do to get the upper hand. But we will see what happens there. Most likely, Russia is just probably embarrassed that they expected to take Ukraine in like a week, and it's still 4 years later, and they still haven't. I haven't really heard much about anything really productive going on lately, so we'll just see. All right, lastly, regional powers seek off-ramp from Iran war in Middle East develops. All right, Qatar, another regional power, saw an off-ramp from the war with Iran on Thursday, and another tanker attacked was reported in the Strait of Hormuz, and the Iranian government dismissed the Trump administration's latest sanctions. Elsewhere in the Middle East, Israel continues its attacks on Gaza and Lebanon, even as the country's strike on Gaza drew up sharp rebuke from the top diplomat overseeing the U.S. brokered ceasefire in the territory. Just like I said before, they claim to have come to an agreement, but they really didn't. We all know that. What side are they talking to? Who knows? We just know that they really can't be trusted over there. And so we'll just have to see exactly what goes on, what plays out. What are your thoughts on that? What do you think should be taken? Do you think there is a diplomatic way to take it out? Or do we just need to go in there and full-on blast them out of there and exert dominance over them? What do you guys think? Diplomats' efforts by Qatar and Pakistan. Okay. Qatar's foreign ministry said in a post on X that Al-Thani's meeting with Iran's foreign minister Abbas included talks on the efforts being made to reduce escalation, as well as a proposed plan between Iran and Oman to allow ships safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz and clear the vital commercial waterway of dangerous mines. Al-Thani's office said the Prime Minister emphasized the necessity of respecting the sovereignty of the neighborhood countries and the freedom of navigation on the strait. He also met on Thursday with Iran's President Mossad and his preliminary speaker, Mohammed. Pakistan said Thursday that it was also continuing diplomatic efforts to help resolve the crisis. Field Marshal Azim Munir visited Tehran recently with the aim of reviving the June Memorandum of Understanding to reopen the strait and the country's foreign ministry. Anyways, so that's kind of what's been going on right now. Kind of a lot of the same thing back and forth. Right now, they're just all warming up and prepping up Russia on the Europeans, China on Taiwan, and the U.S. It's kind of just everything's moving in place. It seems like at the moment we got cyber attacks taking place. That's about it so far. Probably trying to get information for their next move. So definitely be aware and on the lookout to see what's up next, what's coming on. I still hadn't seen anything about the Russians when they said that be aware of the next 2 hours after the CIA meeting. It's been a day and a half now, so was that an empty threat, or are they really planning something big? Let me know what you guys think down below. And that's it for this morning, at least at the moment. Anything else comes out, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to keep up with the channel and see what we can find. Also, if you have any other news that I may have missed or something that's important you want me to deep dive into, go ahead and drop below. But yeah, until then, we'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.